Greetings, everybody. I hope that everyone is alive and kicking this evening. So this evening we will be having a look at Volatility 75, aka Vix75. Let's get straight into the chart. So today I'm gonna start off my analysis from the weekly chart, and that is because, generally speaking, and in as far as this broker that I'm using is concerned, they don't really give me much data to work with on the monthly chart. So for that reason, I will start my analysis on the weekly chart. So yeah, let me get straight into it and not waste any further time. So the first question that I normally ask myself in as far as technical analysis goes is, what do we see on the chart that we should be paying attention to? Right, so let's get into the chart. So the first thing that I can see from my end is the fact that we have what seems to be a very nice inverted head and shoulders pattern forming in this region, right? With the side being the left hand shoulder, this being the head, and this potentially being the right hand shoulder. However, I'm not particularly happy with this side of the shoulder because I believe that it is still forming itself. So at this point in time, I don't think we can really regard it as a head and shoulders pattern. However, should it confirm itself, what I would do is I would wait for price to actually break above and close just above that head and shoulders pattern. And then once that happens, I would love to see price come back to the neckline to test it, and this is where I would look for possible buying opportunities. And the anticipation is that from here price would move up to this point over here, where we have a very strong level of resistance, right? We have a very strong level of resistance at that point, and yeah, as I said, that is what I would love to see. However, that right hand shoulder is not that convincing in as far as I'm concerned, and I would like to see the current candlestick actually close. I'd love to see how it actually closes, and then we'll take it from there. But for now, yeah, I'll just be keeping my eye out on that particular move, or potential move rather. Another thing that is also very much interesting is the fact that we have this candlestick over here. It is a bullish candlestick, which tells us that we have a whole lot of liquidity that's sitting at that level. And ideally, as I said, I would love to see this inverted head and shoulders play out and ending at this point. I think that would be perfect. Nonetheless, let's keep moving forward. So what else do we see on this chart that we should be paying attention to? So the reason why I actually say that we should wait for price to break above and close above that area, it is because it's also, or rather, not only would it be the neckline of this particular pattern, it would also be a very strong level of resistance, and that is because there are multiple touches at that point if you look closely. And what may actually happen is price from where it is may push to here where that level is and then push further down. So I think the best thing to do is to wait for confirmation, where we wait for price to break above and then head back to the neckline, and then we would look for buying opportunities at this point, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to mark that level because it is a very important level of or rather it's a very important resistance level. There we go, right? So what else do we see on this chart? I don't see much really. I don't see much. But also, as much as we have this potential inverted head and shoulders pattern forming, we also seem to be having this just bear with me, we also seem to be having an opposing structure over here, which is an actual head and shoulders pattern, right? Where we have the left hand shoulder here, the head there, and the right hand shoulder at this point, right? And it may be that price is just coming up again just to retest that area because, as I said, it's a very strong level of resistance. And what may actually happen is price from where it is may push further down to complete this head and shoulders pattern. And I think, or rather in my humble opinion, I believe that this pattern should end around this zone over here, somewhere around this zone, in my humble opinion, right? So this is one of the outcomes that we may see in the future. Nonetheless, let's keep moving forward. So what else do we see on this chart that we should be paying attention to? I don't see much. So from here, I'm just going to head down to the daily chart. So here we are on the daily chart. Let's see. Let's see. Just gonna make it slightly bigger. In fact, the first thing that I'm going to do on this particular chart is add my daily channel. So I'm just gonna have a look. How would I add my daily channel on this particular chart? How would I add my daily channel? Let me see. Just bear with me. How would I add my daily channel? Let me see. I'm just gonna try it this way, just to see if it works. This is how I would have my daily channel actually. Let's see. Just bear with me while I fix my lines. There we go. This is how I would have my daily channel really. So we can see that the slope is, or rather the trajectory is upward sloping. And yeah, so let's continue. So on the weekly chart, we spoke about those two head and shoulders patterns, but can you also guys see that on the daily chart, the head and shoulders pattern, or the inverted head and shoulders pattern, is better visible here, right? It's better visible on the daily chart, right? And as I said, just keep in mind that we also have an opposing structure where we have that head and shoulders pattern as well. So as I said, we just need to be careful and just make sure that we are safe in as far as buying or selling goes. However, as I said, guys, that price may push to this level and then push down from there, but just keep in mind that we have this pattern as well, right? And what may happen is price may push to the upside, breaking the structure, and then come back to the neckline to retest it, and then push further up, completing this inverted head and shoulders pattern, right? But the solution, guys, is to go down to the smaller time frames and look for reasons for why one should be buying or selling, right? But this is what we see on the daily chart, and let's continue. Just also keep in mind that the channel is upward sloping, and that in the bigger scheme of things, we are in an uptrend in as far as I'm concerned, right? So let's continue. So what else do we see on this chart, which is the daily chart, that we should be paying attention to? So as much as we have this inverted head and shoulders pattern, bear in mind that we also have, let me just zoom in a bit, we also have another head and shoulders pattern at this point, with this being the left hand shoulder, this being the head, and this being the right hand shoulder, right? And it confirms what I said, that this is a very strong level of support, or rather resistance, and that we may see price actually move down, because this level also is where we have the right hand shoulder of that huge head and shoulders pattern that I spoke about on the weekly chart. So at this point in time, it seems as though the market will move further down because of number one, we have that huge head and shoulders pattern that I spoke about. Number two, this level is where the right hand shoulder is, excuse me, of that huge shoulder, or rather that huge head and shoulders pattern. To add to that, we also have this smaller head and shoulders pattern, right? So at this point in time, based on what I'm seeing, it looks as though the market will move further down, right? Anyway, let's proceed. Let's see. The neckline of this pattern over here is here, right? And I think the safest entry would be to wait for price to break below this neckline and close below that neckline, and then wait for it to head back to the neckline to retest it. And this is where you would look for selling opportunities. I'm not saying sell just because price is at the neckline. I'm saying that you should look for further selling opportunities at this level, and the first take profit should be around this level over here, in my humble opinion, right? In fact, yeah, this should be the take profit, not the first take profit, but the take profit. Then once price reaches here, then you can evaluate again in terms of what's going on, right? Yeah, but anyway, that is the daily chart. Just also bear in mind that we also have, or rather we also had a nice W structure here with a neckline over there. Price broke the neckline. Okay, let me just redraw that. Oh, that's fine. Price broke the neckline to the top, then went back down to retest it, and we would have looked for buying opportunities at this point. And we saw price move up to where we have this resistance level, and this would have been our take profit zone, right? And that is because when it comes to W structures, would love to see price break to the upside of that neckline and then head back to the neckline to test it, and here we would look for buying opportunities, right? That's what actually happened here, where we have this W over here, right? Anyway, let's proceed. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a neckline to the W structure, because it is also very much important. Because as much as I'm saying that just bear with me, as much as I'm saying that we have this, and the anticipation is for price to end here, right, to close here, to finish this head and shoulders pattern, what may actually happen is that price may push to this level and then from here bounce to that level. And that is because this is now a very strong area of support. It's now a very strong area of support, right? So we need to keep in the back of our minds all of these possibilities and make sure that we have a 360 view in terms of what's going on in the market, and we need to make sure that we always react based on what the market does, right? We shouldn't predict really, but we should be reacting based on what the market does, right? So that's the daily chart. From here, I'm just going to head down to the H4 chart just to have a look in terms of what's happening down there. So just bear with me, guys. My date is a bit slow this evening. Come on, load up. So here we are on the H4 chart. Let's see what's happening on this H4 chart that we should be paying attention to. Let's see. On the H4 chart, we have this area right here, and we can see that the market has been moving somehow or somewhat sideways, right? But also keep in mind that on the daily chart we spoke about that huge, or rather that smaller head and shoulders pattern, right? And I said that ideally we should wait for price to actually close below the neckline, close below the neckline, and then from there head back to the neckline to test it, and then from there look for selling opportunities, right? My take profit would be the zone over here. However, we just need to remember that we have a very strong level of support at this point as well, right? Because it is the support level, and it's also the neckline of this huge W structure, right? I hope what I'm saying is not confusing you. I'm just trying to show you all of the possibilities and how we just need to make sure that we are on top of everything, so that when the market moves, we can react based on what it does. Okay. So let's see, what else do we see on this chart. Another thing that is also very much interesting is the fact that because we have this W structure, we have a lot of stop losses that are trapped just below this low zone over here. And that is because, as I always say, when it comes to W structures, what normally happens is a lot of traders and investors buy on that second leg of the W structure and place their stop losses just below that structure. So just below the structure over here, there's a whole lot of stop losses that are sitting there, and the market may head down to collect those stop losses. So that is it in as far as my analysis goes. Just to wrap up, as I said, we have this very nice head and shoulders pattern, right? With this being the left hand shoulder, this being the head, and this being the right hand shoulder, right? And the expectation, or rather the anticipation, is for this market to complete itself. However, just bear in mind that we have this level as well, which is the neckline of this very nice W structure, and it is now also a support area, right? Also, I think I would advise you to actually look for selling opportunities once the neckline at this point has been broken, right? And as I said, my take profit, or rather this structure, should end around here. However, if it does come to this level, I would put my take profit just below this area over here, and that is because there are a whole lot of stop losses that are there. Because, as I said, when it comes to W structures, a lot of traders and investors buy on the second leg of the structure, and they place their stop losses just below that zone, right? I hope what I said does not make sense. I mean, does not confuse you. I hope it makes sense. Otherwise, just rewatch the video again. But that is it in as far as my analysis goes, right? Just also bear in mind that I just want to make this one last point, right? That as much as we have this, keep in mind that we also have let me just go back to the daily chart actually. The weekly chart rather, not the daily chart, right? Remember that on the weekly chart, when I started with this video, I said that we also rather have what seems to be this pattern happening. However, it needs to be confirmed at the zone as well, right? So I hope my video made sense. Peace out.